What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and I want to talk about something that was just in the news yesterday, and it's just blatantly false. And I get the fake news, all this BS, and the sensationalizing of stories to get you to read. Now, the story yesterday was a guy parked his car in a parking garage, his Ferrari, 458 Spider 2015, fabulous car. But what happened? Valet attendants, whatever the story is, they damaged the car. That's irrelevant. The garage damages a car, they should be responsible for fixing it. Now here's where it gets pretty wild. The guy claimed there was $19,000 worth of damage. Like, how could this happen in a parking garage? Well, it's very simple. It's you have a very expensive car, and that's why they charge you more for your expensive car, because it's more expensive to fix if they have to make an insurance claim or fix something. So was it really $19,000 worth of damage? Probably not. You didn't see any photos of the damage. You claimed it was the door and the mirror on the one side was damaged. You don't know to what extent that was. It could just be cosmetic damage that was very easily fixable. It could have been the whole thing was bashed in. Either way, it required a repair, and the guy was entitled to have his car returned to the condition it was in prior. Now is where you start saying, well, what's so weird about that? He sold the car back, and there's no timelines on this. This is why the news articles, the Drive, the New York Post is all hogwash. There's no articles as to when he bought it, how much he paid for it, when he sold it, how much he sold it. Well, they said how much he sold it for, $207,000 or $209,000. But the number that they're using is that it was a $347,000 car that he ended up selling for $207,000, and the reason was because it was damaged in a parking garage. So now he's suing that parking garage for that money. Now, if you're the attorney representing the parking garage, you're going to want to call me, because you need expert witnesses like this guy who says this is all hogwash, if it even gets to that point, because I'm not trying to piss on this guy's parade, but you're not entitled to $150,000 in diminished value. Your car is worth comparatively, if you can prove that your car was worth less, that when you traded it in, you got a lesser value because of this damage, that's fine. There's paint inconsistencies on Ferraris. It's just the way it is. If you do paint meters like all these dealers like to do, the wholesalers and everything, to look for reasons to devalue your car, they may claim it was in an accident when it's never been in an accident. And it could be a one-owner car and it's never been in an accident. That's why you look at the condition, you look at the paint. There's nothing wrong. It doesn't really devalue the car. Especially, the only thing that can devalue it is a Carfax or an auto check report that shows there was an accident on it. Now, here, you don't see how bad the damage was, and there's no claim whether or not there's an accident on record. If there's no accident on record, you have no claim unless you can show proof that that dealer gave you less than market value or less than that car would have been worth had it not been in that accident. You have no claim for diminished value. Now, here's the real kicker. The diminished value claim of $140,000 is straight up bullshit, because there's no telling, they don't tell in the story how much this guy paid for the car. He could have paid $250, $260 when he bought it. It depends how long he held it for. If he bought it brand new, cars depreciate. That's what they do. You've got $207,000 for your 2015 458 Spider with 7,000 miles on it. That's a $220,000 car. So that's what a dealer's going to offer you is $207,000, because they got to turn around and sell it for $215,000, $220,000, $225,000. So you got all the money out of it. There's no diminished value. You're not entitled to own it for free because somebody damaged your car. So in like the legal world, if you wanted to go after somebody, when somebody damages your property, you have the right to diminish value. So if that car was actually worth less because of that accident than it was prior, you're entitled to that delta. So if let's just say the wholesale on the car was $210, but they're offering you $190 because it's got an accident and it's harder to sell, you're entitled to the difference between what they would have offered you. And then this is subjective. You can argue back and forth over the exact dollar amount, but what you should have gotten with the mileage, with comparables, and what you ended up getting from the dealer trade-in. So then you could say, like, all right, you're entitled to $15,000 in diminished value because of that accident made the car worth less ultimately compared to other cars with the same mileage of the same year with similar options. That's a claim you can make. The other claim you can go for if you want money, which is apparently this is what the guy wants, is you can go after loss of use. Now, loss of use, there's a case called the Camarasa case, where loss of use has been strictly defined as not just loss of revenue, not just loss of not just loss of diminished value, but loss of use is this guy has a Ferrari. He's not allowed to drive it because it's now in a body shop. He's out of his car for a month, 2 months, however long it was down to get repaired. So while you're out of that, while you're not getting your value out of your car, and this is the Camarasa case, allowed them to say, look, loss of value could be like, I want it in my garage. I want to go out and look at it. I want to go like eat my cereal and stare at my car. I can't do that when it's not in my possession because of something you did. That is loss of use. And generally how they will allocate funds for that, and loss of use is generally a number significantly more than the damage claim and significantly more than diminished value. Loss of use is the fair market daily rental rate of your vehicle for as many days as it's been absent. The fact that none of these news outlets, if you can call them that, even bothered to look up what the actual value of the car should have been versus what he sold it for is BS. Because a clean, low-mile 458 Spider, even red tan, whatever the popular color is from 2015, would sell for $225, $230 on the high end, regardless of the original MSRP. So this guy, if he's gotten nothing from the parking garage, is probably entitled to the actual repair cost if he's already repaired the car. And he's entitled to, if he can prove that the car was worth less at that time, he can go after that. And if he wants to throw loss of use in there, he's more than welcome to do that. But this whole thing is nonsense. And I think you guys should all go comment that these stories are BS and they should actually do some research before putting this together, because it shouldn't be me as a last line of defense to clarify all this. So this guy's not entitled to his $150,000 in loss of use or in diminishment of value because a garage could be like scratched his car. I don't know what it was. They could have been backing it into a spot and it brushed against a pole. Concrete, garages, it is what it is. It's all nonsense, and it really annoys me that this even needs clarification and that not getting into the New York Post. But the New York Post is supposed to be a journalistic outlet where there's journalists that do research and formulate a story. They don't care about that. They just want to make you read it and show your friends. Like, look, this guy's car was damaged in a parking garage and it cost $150,000 in diminished value. That's bullshit. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.